Hey guys, this is Melissa from the House of Plaid Fuzz, and today I'm going to do a get to know me video. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of my new content. And if you're not, welcome back. I was tagged by Alicia from Happily Ever Minimal to do a get to know me tagged video. Her channel is all about like minimalism and living sustainably and zero waste. I really enjoy her stuff, so I'm gonna leave a link to her channel below so you can check her out too. Basically, get to know me is just like random questions so you can get to know me better. And I thought this would be kind of fun because I'm not sure how many of my YouTube viewers like followed me over from my blog. So if you're not one of my blog readers, you probably don't know my backstory that well. So I just went online and kind of found a random list of 10 questions that I'm going to answer. So I just have them on my phone here. Number one is, are you named after anyone? Kind of. My first name is Melissa, my middle name is Anne, and my mom's name is Deborah, which means like queen bee or something like that. And so Melissa means like little honeybee is why she chose that. And then my middle name being Anne, that's the same as my mom's middle name. And then I have a twin sister who has my grandma's middle name. So then my daughter has their middle name, and then her daughter has my middle name. So convoluted, but yes, kind of sort of named after someone. Second question is like, what does my channel name mean? And my YouTube channel name is the same as my blog name, which is the House of Plaid Fuzz. I've been blogging for like 10 years, so I've had it for a long time. I've gotten a lot of questions like, what is a plaid fuzz? So long story short, like plaid fuzz has been like my email, and you know, back in the day of like AOL chat rooms and things like that. That's just kind of been my online identity, like literally since I was probably like 14 or 15 years old, which would have been in the early 90s when, you know, I was listening to Nirvana and wearing like fuzzy plaid flannel shirts. And it just kind of grew out of that. And my blog used to be called The World According to Plaid Fuzz. And a couple years ago, I changed it to the House of Plaid Fuzz because I felt like that described maybe a little better what I wrote about. But a lot of people try to separate it into two words. It's not. It's one. Plaid Fuzz. It's just one word. But I guess I'll answer to about anything. So the third question is, do you have any piercings or tattoos? I obviously have my lip pierced, and that's about the only piercing I have. I don't even know if like the holes in my ears are open anymore. I used to have a lot of things pierced. I've had like my labret pierced, my tongue, very briefly had my eyebrow. Oh God, I've had everything pierced basically. Again, I grew up in the 90s. And I do have one tattoo. I don't know. You can kind of see on my forearm here, it just says, ignorance is not innocence, but sin. And I've had that. I've had my lip pierced and my tattoo for, I don't even know, well over 10 years. And like I've always thought I would get more tattoos, and I just never have. Like, I'm not opposed to the idea, but I guess I'm just so indecisive. I've never gotten any more. So let's see. The next question is, do I have any phobias? Yes, I have a lot of phobias. I actually have OCD. So maybe not specific phobias, but there's just a lot of things. My daughter was kind of giving me crap the other day. I have to visibly see, I have to see for myself if our deadbolt is locked on the door every night. Even if I'm the one that locked it, I just double check before I go up the stairs. Like, I have to see it, or I'll lay there at night and think like, oh my gosh, the door's not locked. So, I also, another one everybody kind of likes to laugh at me for is I have trypophobia, which is kind of like a phobia of, I guess I don't know what the official title is, but like, it's a phobia of like repeating like circular patterns, or like honeycomb freaks me out. I don't want to talk about it too much or I'll gross myself out, honestly. Google it. There's lots of gross things online about it. Let's see. What is my favorite book? that's kind of hard to say. One of my all-time favorite books would be The Historian. And off the top of my head, I can't remember the author. But it's like historical fiction. And it's actually like about Dracula. But it's so well written. I love books that like weave actual history into fiction. I'm trying to think. A couple of my favorite books I've read this year would be A Gentleman in Moscow, All the Light We Cannot See. Oh, I'd almost have to go look at my Goodreads. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I like to read. I'm on my like 75th book, I think, of the year. So I'm a pretty avid reader. It's hard to remember all of them. Okay, where was I born? Literally like a few miles from where I am sitting now. I was born in the same city here in Iowa where I still live. And I have lived a few other different places, but I've always lived in the Midwest, so I haven't made it too far. So yeah, that's kind of sad but true. Who is my favorite celebrity? I don't know past the age of like 15 if I necessarily have a favorite celebrity, but I would say Gordon Ramsay, which people might find funny. I just freaking love him. I don't know if it's just like that I appreciate like the foul-mouthed sarcasm or what, but I freaking love Gordon Ramsay. I've literally watched like all of his shows that he's ever done. We've watched on like Netflix and Hulu, and let's see, do I have any hobbies? I have a lot of hobbies. I have way too many hobbies. Obviously I like planning, I like watercoloring, I like drawing, I like to read, I like to crochet. I don't do that very often. I like genealogy. I don't know, a few years ago had actually pneumonia, so I was sick and, you know, like flat on my back, sick for about a week, and I got onto ancestry.com and like, oh my gosh, I totally got hooked on that. And maybe that like harkens to my love of like history, but I was able to trace like on my grandpa's side some ancestors way back to like literally like Roman times. It was super interesting. And I don't know my biological father, so there's like half of my ancestry that I have no idea about. So I've always wanted to do one of those DNA tests. My husband talked about getting me one for Christmas, but I should just take the plunge and get one. Not so much like, I'm just curious like what, I don't know, ethnicities or, you know, what nationalities are in my history, I guess. Do I have any favorite sports teams? My favorite sports team is the Iowa Hawkeyes. Definitely follow football, kind of basketball. Like when I was a kid, and I blame my grandma because she's a big Iowa Hawkeye basketball fan, and like from the time I was little, that was our thing, that we'd watch games. And I used to save like every newspaper clipping back when we actually like read newspapers I could find about the Hawkeyes, and I had like a box full of them I recently got rid of. My husband is from Wisconsin, so his favorite team is the Green Bay Packers. So it kind of works out, like, you know, okay, I'll cheer for the Packers. I don't care. I don't have an NFL team, and I mean, he kind of liked Wisconsin, but I guess he wanted to marry me worse because now he's a Hawkeye fan. And then, okay, the last question is, what is my favorite music? It's kind of hard to say. I honestly listen to like everything. I have always like hated country music, but I don't know if I'm just getting old or what. Like the last few years, I wouldn't listen to like a country station, but there's a few country songs here and there that I actually do like. And I've always liked like the old like Johnny Cash and stuff, but I'd say probably my favorite has always been like kind of alternative rock. But again, I guess I'm just getting old and mellow. Like now I'm more into like kind of more of the folksy alternative, like the Lumineers and stuff like that. But literally there's a little bit of everything on my playlist. I really like Panic at the Disco and gosh, I can't even think off the top of my head. We listen to like some Christian music. There's certain songs, I would say more than like actual like genres of music, there will just be certain songs that like drive me up the wall that I just absolutely cannot listen to. But yeah, I will listen to a little bit of everything. So there you have it. That was my 10 questions of getting to know me better. I'm not going to tag anyone specific, but if you think this tag is interesting, go ahead and do it. I find it interesting to learn about people. So I'm gonna go ahead and link my blog and all my social media and all that good stuff in the comments below. Like I said, if you are not a blog reader of mine, that's a good place to kind of go dig and find out even more about me, I guess. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.